The Human Rights Campaign has blasted the New York Giants' hire of former wide receiver David Tyree, this based on his past anti-gay comments. I'm Jim Basco with the latest ESPN headlines. We are joined by Dan Graziano, NFL insider, and he also covers the Giants for ESPN.com. And Dan, what was the Giants' response to the backlash of Tyree's hiring?
The Giants issued a brief statement that said these represent David's personal views and do not reflect those of the Giants organization. But I would venture to say that the Giants were surprised at the backlash. He's been very outspoken with his views on this issue and aggressively so, in a way that doesn't just sort of lie there on the grass, but in fact seeks to make life more difficult for other people. Ultimately, the point of the Michael Sam story, as Michael would probably tell you, is that those who come after him will have to be less fearful of coming out and living their lives openly as a result of the work he did. Now, let's say hypothetically the Giants have a player who's considering coming out, and they just hired a director of player development who has said these things about homosexuals. This is I mean, how could you possibly come out and live your life openly and proudly, knowing that someone who's one of your bosses feels this way about you? It's a red-hot issue right now in the NFL and certainly in society at large, and Tyree is on the increasingly unpopular side of it. And I'd go so far as to say the wrong side because, again, no matter what your beliefs are, and he says his are rooted in his religious beliefs, no matter what your beliefs are, religious or otherwise, you start using them as a way to treat other people poorly and negatively affect their time on this earth, then you've lost me. You know, whatever the beliefs are and whether I share them with you or not, you don't get to use them as a weapon, and David Tyree has done that.
This is absolutely remarkable. First, let me back up and say that the respected former coach and now TV analyst Tony Dungy has been asked for several months about his view on Michael Sam, an openly gay NFL player, has been asked for his views about Michael Sam playing in the NFL and made clear he has every right to play and it's based on merit and he has nothing against him playing. He was asked recently, would he draft him? Would he have drafted him? And he said no because of the media distraction, that he tries to avoid all potential distractions for the team. And because there was a media circus surrounding this, because there was even talk of an Oprah reality TV show. It was announced it's going to follow Michael Sam in training camp and see if he makes the team. It's utterly preposterous. As Tony Dungy said, based on his coaching philosophy and drafting philosophy, he would not have drafted. He was asked a question, would you have drafted him? No, I wouldn't, for the following reasons. And he's getting blasted. He's getting blasted for having an opinion. Tony Dungy is getting blasted for having an opinion and answering a question honestly, and I'm sure many other NFL coaches and executives felt the same way. We don't want the media distractions, and Michael Sam created them by coming out the way he did. Tony Dungy said, I wish him all the success in the world. I hope he's an NFL star. I'd gladly have him on my team as a player. That's not the issue. But you dared to say that you would have had an issue with the media distraction. Yeah, he's asked his opinion, and he gave it honestly. And Dungy's a Christian enough man to have said, I'm sorry now that my comments are part of that distraction. So who's David Tyree? Well, there was a prophetic word spoken over him that he was going to make a miraculous catch in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, and he did. One of the most famous catches in NFL history as the Giants won dramatically against the favorite Patriots. He caught the ball with his hand and with his helmet. That's how he made the catch, this amazing catch. David Tyree is a committed Christian. And he had said when New York was in the battle to redefine marriage that he'd donate his helmet, proceeds from his helmet, to stand for marriage, so it wouldn't be redefined. And he said what many other reputable scientific organizations or individuals, academics have said, that we don't know the cause of homosexuality. And in point of fact, what David Tyree said, he doesn't believe anyone's born gay. There remains no reputable scientific evidence that anyone is born gay. Even the left-leaning pro-gay organizations like the American Psychological Association, they say we don't know exactly what causes it. Seems to be biological, environmental, we don't know for sure. Tyree's blasted for this. Dan Graziano in a column says his comments are medieval. His viewpoints are medieval. Human Rights Campaign blasts the New York Giants for hiring him. And Tyree said, I know former homosexuals. How dare you say, I know former homosexuals. Many of you know former homosexuals. Some of you are former homosexuals. This is absolutely outrageous. As to the question, well, how would a player who wanted to come out now be able to come out on the team if the director of player development held these views? Well, what's the director of player development supposed to do? Not be a Christian? Not tell the truth that he knows former homosexuals? Not agree with other organizations that say that we don't know the cause of some homosexuality and there's no evidence that someone's born gay? To say, okay, I'm not going to stand for marriage anymore because I want to play in sport. What kind of nonsense is that? That's how far things have turned. Now it's the NFL getting crazy over this and sports correspondents getting crazy over this. Let people focus on playing football, and if they hold to particular views, religious views, spiritual views, moral views, they hold to those particular views and let them play football. The ones who are making this an issue are the ones who are saying, no, you have to be able to be out and proud, and no one under any circumstances can have any issue with that, regardless of media distractions or anything else. And no one is even allowed to say, well, according to my religious convictions, I differ. No. Friends, this is the type of political correctness we have warned against for years. I'm glad the Giants hired him and said he has his views. They're not ours. Fine, let him say that, but they hired him, and David Tyree had no response to the Human Rights Campaign. Good for him. He simply said, I'm glad to be playing on the Giants. And the more the sports world makes an issue out of these things, the more mud on their face for being on the wrong side of righteousness, justice, and truth.